After the time jump, episode one picks up the day of the dance instead of after, which is going to be new for the gamers among us. Talk to me a little bit about the decision to start there, and was any of that material originally kind of intended for the game?
So anything that you see in that episode that you didn't see in the game is original to the show, and it was just part of the adaptive process that Neil and I go through, where we're looking for things to do. I mean, some of the things were maybe things that you did in the game that we transformed a bit. For instance, Ellie learning how to shoot with Tommy. Slightly different context here. It's actually quite startling, I think, when you're playing The Last of Us or The Last of Us Part 2, where suddenly the controller doesn't matter and you're in a moment like that dance, which is, an iconic scene. But for us, they're all like that. So then the question is, well, do we hold off on that? Is it important to hold off on that? Or should we just portray that as part of a new narrative thread and a new narrative through line? And that's part of the fun of adapting a game like that, is that you have so much great material. Now the question is how to best portray it in this medium.
Joel and Ellie have now settled into this community, almost a normal life in the way that we would know a normal life. That they live here, and Joel gets to go back to his old job that he hasn't done in like 25 years since the outbreak happened. He gets to be a contractor. He gets to fix things. He gets to build, where for those 20 years, he destroyed and killed and murdered to survive and to save Ellie.
We don't see Joel and Dina interact a lot in the game. There's a very pronounced, fun, cute Joel and Dina scene in the premiere.
Yeah.
Why show us that? Like, why give us that?
So one of the things that Neil and I talked about was, and again, an opportunity we have that they didn't really have for the game, is to underscore that Dina isn't just there to be Ellie's sidekick. She is her own person who has her own relationship with Joel, which is very different than Ellie's. I always felt like my friends' parents were awesome, and my friends thought that their parents sucked. And that's what we're seeing here. Dina can see Joel in his best light. And I'm particularly fond of this little thing that happens between Isabella and Pedro when she asks him, teach me how a circuit breaker works. And he's so delighted that somebody would want to know and learn from him, which feeds right into his fatherly thing. And it's genuine. She really cares for Joel. And that's going to add dimensionality to her journey as her relationship with Ellie becomes more and more refined, because we understand that it's not only Ellie that has this deep connection with Joel. A lot of people do. He means something to this community, and he means something to Dina.
He's settling into the normal life. He doesn't have to be a survivor day to day anymore, because Jackson has afforded him enough safety, afforded everybody enough safety where they can just be themselves. Ellie gets to be a teenager in a way she's never had to be in her entire life. She gets to have a crush on someone.
I don't feel like stories are ever done. Deadlines just appear and make you stop. So this whole show has been this opportunity to get a second crack at a story I love, at characters I love, at themes I love. Kind of all of these beats are me getting to sort of vicariously live again in these scenes that I love and see if they can be deeper, be iterated on. Can we get closer to theme? Can we get more complex with our characters?
In the game, you need to get to the action quickly enough, because that's what a lot of the mechanics revolve around. So these quiet moments don't get to maybe be as long as they do in the show, and that expansion gives us really these sweet opportunities to see, okay, well, if they were to live here, what would that look like in the way that we couldn't explore in the game?
We have always felt like there was an opportunity to get a little bit more under the hood of Joel, because he's so tough, because he is so capable and can withstand so much. It is always interesting then to take somebody like that, remove their armor, take away their weapons, make them vulnerable, and find out what's going on under there. The themes here have to do with parenthood and aging and mortality and figuring out how to love people without hurting them, how to keep them without losing them. And these are things that we all struggle with. And that's why I love making the show, because we don't have to live in a mushroom apocalypse to appreciate what's going on here. We can connect with it anyway.